Pope Leo has started his shift to the left. You know, I was relieved when Pope Leo came about because he was far, far better than his predecessor, who was in fact a heretic. Pope Leo's predecessor had said that there's many pathways to God, that all religions effectively lead to the same place. He said this in front of a bunch of school kids. We ran the video of it. So I was excited when Pope Leo came along with a far different view on this, that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father but through him. And that's an important clarification, don't you think? So when Pope Leo came along, I had this great hope, and many other people did. He's spoken some things that make sense about abortion, back to the Catholic belief on this. He hasn't come out full force in favor of gender ideology, although he has appointed some people who have. He's appointed them to some powerful positions. But now Pope Leo, who's an American, was asked a question about American politics, and Senator Dick Durbin, who's been in the Senate some, 40 years. I think the Pope agrees with that estimate. And in that period of time, we have seen America get $300 trillion in debt. We've seen murder rates increase. We've seen obesity rates increase. We've seen now race relations at record lows, which began under Barack Hussein Obama, the rebirth of the mental race wars. Now we're seeing race wars carried out in the streets. We've seen the arrival of groups like Armed Queers of Salt Lake City, very tightly tied to what happened with Charlie Kirk and the horrible, horrible events there that God has used for good. So we've seen all this. But Pope Leo is now coming in and weighing in on American politics. And what's so disturbing to me is he's doing this from the apparent throne of the papacy. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Now, look, he's got a church to run, and churches run on money. That's true. They got to have this. People donate their money. You've probably, in your life, in your retirement life, set up some organizations you support, and you probably want to be able to continue to do that throughout life and in your retirement. So what does that look like to you, retirement? What does that look like to you? What does it look like in a world of risk? We're being told any day to expect maybe an Al-Qaeda attack on the homeland. Al-Qaeda, again, they're back. We've been watching the constant unaliving of people in public. These are volatile times. There's a new digital coin every single day. This is a time of risk. And my friend Zach Abraham, the Chief Investment Officer of Bulwark Capital Management, he loves risk management. He breathes risk management. He loves to talk about it and do it. And at Bulwark Capital Management, they actively manage every single portfolio, which can reduce risk and volatility. This has been a stellar year for Bulwark. Absolutely stellar, because they do so well during volatility. If you are wondering about where you're at, my friend Zach will tell you for free in 3 meetings, for free, no obligations, not some 15-minute talk. He really wants to look into, does he want to work with you? Do you want to work with him? And can they help you? And they'll tell you whether they can or not, in his mind. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com. Sign up for a free no-obligation consultation today. That's knowyourriskpodcast.com. Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC and SEC registered investment advisor. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 25-298. So here's Pope Leo asked about American politician Dick Durbin.
It's important to look at many issues that are related to what is the teaching of the church. Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life. So someone who says that I'm against abortion but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who are in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life. So they're very complex issues. I don't know if anyone has all the truth on them. But I would ask first and foremost that there be greater respect for one another, and that we search together both as human beings, in that case as American citizens or citizens of the state of Illinois, as well as Catholics, to say we need to really look closely at all of these ethical issues.
So an archbishop apparently wanted to honor Dick Durbin, and the Pope was asked about this, and let's go through his statement. I think it's very important to look at the overall work the senator's done during, if I'm not mistaken, 40 years of service in the United States. Okay, service, that's an interesting phrase, and I guess it's his right to use. So let's do. Where's the country? Where are abortion rates? Abortion has gone from rare, safe, and effective to shout your abortion, and Dick Durbin has helped move that forward. Now, it's not just the abortion business that Planned Parenthood is in. Planned Parenthood's in the wrong sex hormone business for children. They're in the pipeline to wrong sex surgery for children. This is one of Dick Durbin's major backers. Dick Durbin has been part and parcel of a corrupt Washington, D.C. that's raking money for itself at force, which is stealing. It's thieving. I mean, we could go across the board, and a lot of politicians have been involved in that. Then his statement continues, I understand this difficulty and the tensions, but I think, as I myself have spoken to pass, it's important to look at the many issues related to what is the teaching of the church. Okay, good, let's do. Someone who says, I'm against abortion, but I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life. Okay, let's pause there. Is that your opinion? Do you have scripture to back that up? You shall not kill. Wait, is it kill or murder? See, that's an important point of view. Is it kill or murder? You shall not. Murder is different than you shall not kill. What about Jesus speaking about the least of these? As you treat the least of these, so you treat me. Isn't every abortion a treatment of the least of these? And yes, you could make the same argument for the death penalty. But he goes on to say something that I think gives the game away a little bit here. He says this, so someone who says, I'm against abortion, but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life, so that's a very complex issue. Let's pause again. What inhuman treatment? Which one? Yes, there are cases where there's been some bad treatment of immigrants and illegal immigrants, and they're not the same thing. Why are you saying immigrant? Why are you not talking about illegal immigrants? Why are you saying inhuman treatment? Is it inhuman to arrest people? And incidentally, is there scripture? Romans 13 says that we are to follow the laws of the land. Kings and magistrates, we're to do that. Doesn't that mean the immigrants are to do that? When they break the law to enter our country and are asked politely to leave, shouldn't they? And yet they don't, even with a series of immigration detainers. Many of them just choose to overstay. Don't they have a responsibility to do that? You can be kind to people. We're told to be kind to sojourners in the Bible because we, after all, are sojourners here. And you can be kind as you put someone in a prison cell. I'm praying for you. This is going to be a hard run. Let me know if I can continue to pray with you or pray for you. So he continues in his statement. I don't know if anyone has all the truth on them, but I ask first and foremost that we have greater respect for one another, that we search together, both as human beings and as the case is American citizens, and et cetera, et cetera. But the operative phrase here is this. So these are very complex issues. Indeed. So why are you pretending otherwise? You said immigrants. Very few people have a problem with immigrants. The problem is illegal immigration. You said the death penalty without the debate around you shall not kill or shall not murder. I'd like to know your view on that. You're the Pope of the Catholic Church. What is the proper translation? Kill or murder? That matters. These are complex issues, and it's also a simple fact that you are not Pope of America, Pope of the Catholic Church. And as such, when you're speaking as a Pope of the Catholic Church, I'd love it if you might offer some scripture in defense of what you're saying. I'd also love it if it wasn't very, very predictable that we would see from you a shifting to the left. One can stand with, be kind to sojourners at the same time as you stand with selling sojourners. You need to follow the land, the law of the lands in which you've entered.